Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at TechTrader.com. It's Tuesday night, December the 15th, and these are the charts of the day. Well, a surprisingly strong session on Wall Street today, and a lot of stocks that we follow and a few that we discovered did very well today, and I'm going to show you some of them. Starting with Akibia, the stock has popped yesterday, pulled back, and then followed through nicely today, jumping another $1.36 at 13%. There's a 10 days to cover short position that looks like it's right at resistance. If you step back a little bit, you'll see that this is a massive head and shoulders bottom, which could explode to the upside. My short-term target's 14. My secondary target's 18. And if we get any kind of follow through tomorrow to break this across the, say, 12 and a quarter range, that could very well happen. Bristol-Myers, well, it's acting so well of late, and I wanted to just show you the long-term pattern. Here's a weekly. It's beautiful for the last several years. And here's a three-year chart, and then finally the daily chart shows that in the drop in August, where most biotechs and pharmaceutical stocks got hammered, this did drop down in the low 50s. But what a comeback! It's now at 70.22, right near the high it reached in July. And based on the pattern, the angles, and the projections, I'm looking for 74, and then as high as 79. Those are my targets going forward for Bristol-Myers. I like the way it looks. So there's a surprisingly strong short position of 4.65 days to cover. That may help the stock move. DGAZ just been incredible. Folks, this stock's gone from 5.5 to 28 and change just in the last 3-4 months. And the price of natural gas has hit all-time lows. This stock has spiked up. It's had a big run of late. I wouldn't get overly excited about staying around, hanging around for too long. But at the same time, momentum is so strong here. This may very well be 30, even 35 in the next couple days. So play it with tight stops. Under today's low would be a good place, under 26. ECOM, beautiful chart pattern. Base after a long decline, multiple foot waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, and then a big base. It broke out with a spike up. Then it formed a nice little coil. And today it popped 84 cents or 6.25%. Volume picked up. It looks like it may want to extend. That my short-term target is 16.5, 17. And then I'm looking at potentially something in the low 20s, around 22. There's 4.3 days to cover on this one. Keep an eye on this. Looks interesting. Horizon Pharmaceuticals. I like the inverse head and shoulders. This left shoulder, head, and right shoulder here. I also like the fact that the stock appears to be wedging in here. And if it breaks out of this, it's going to explode right up into that 24 range. That's my first target. My secondary target is 28. There's a couple days to cover as well. But you can see that after coming down hard in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, it exploded here and pulled back. But in the last several weeks, it's been holding its 50-day moving average. All we need is a pop to get this above 23.4, and this could be on its way back into the low to mid 30s. But we'll have to just see what kind of follow through, if any, we get. Intel, I wanted to feature Intel just to show you how beautiful this inverse head and shoulders was. To break out, to pull back to the 50. It held, it popped to resistance across here, and it's been backing and filling for about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks now. But the flag that this is developed, if it breaks out of, should see 38 and then 40. Those are my targets for Intel. JK Solar, one of the strong solars of late, and for the last couple sessions, it's popped very nicely from 23 to 26. Today up another $1.99 or 8%. There's 5.1 days to cover, but take a look at the last 6 weeks or so. We've had a resistance level as well as a declining tops line, both taken out today with this pop. I think we're going to follow through and get a run at and a test of 27.5. But that's the level I'll be watching for breakout, because if we get through that level, then this entire pattern is broken and we're headed up towards the 32 range. 5.1 days to cover. Well, Lumber Liquidators had a big day today after the major short in it announced that he's covered his position. The stock is exploded for 347 or 25%, and it traded 12.2 million. What that did was take out the declining top line and lateral resistance. It appears we could see 21.22 short term, and that's my target. There's still 7 days to cover on it. Swing trade LMAT popped, got all the way up to 1685, backed off to 38. 1638, up 62 cents or about 4%. Still, I think the stock is headed to 18 and then 20. Those are my targets. NEO, another short swing trade of ours, which held the 50-day yesterday in reverse. Today popped and ran 60 cents or 8.25%, 8.15%. With 4.22 days to cover, we can get it up through the 8 level, 8.25, I should say. We should see 9 and 10 going forward NK popped today, another $1.26 or about almost 8%. There's 6.4 days to cover, and it looks like it may be coming out of this consolidation. And if it does, 19 and 23 are my targets. OHRP, this junior pharmaceutical firm or biotech, popped today and may have come out of this wedge. You can see the moving averages crossed over here. They're moving up steadily. There's overhead resistance up around the 5.25 level, but I think the stock is headed for near 7. PCRX broke out of a massive inverse left shoulder head, right shoulder type pattern, a little weak on the right shoulder. But in any case, the stock gapped and ran today. And the fact that it popped, and even though it did come off substantially off the high, it still was up 8.46 or 13.5%. There's still 10.4 days to cover. This may very well test the 80-82 zone. That's my target. Perion, well, this little low price stock has been acting very well of late. Look at the long-term trend that was taken out when the stock came down through here. Well, anyway, it looks like it's headed for a run at the 395.4 zone. And if it gets through that, we could see $5. A very nice pattern, strong surge, and keep an eye on this one too. SEDG, one of the stronger solars, has come down from the mid-40s or 44 range down to 15 before finally reversing. Yesterday it popped through everything. Today it followed through nicely. You can see resistance from the 22.75 range that was hit in November 5th. But I'm looking for a move to 26 on this one. I think it has that kind of energy. SUNE, well, because so many people asked me about it, I wanted to show it to you. Obviously, a stock that got whacked, but it's on its way back. And volume and technicals are improving, but it is at resistance. So we need to see if it can get through today's high around the 515 range. If it does, my targets are 6 and then 7. TAN, the ETF for solars, after multiple bottoms and a wedge, today popped out as volume increased. The stock moved up and closed above the 50. My targets are 31 and then 33. And lastly is VRX, which appears to reverse itself after this nasty downtrend and very bad PR. We had a little 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-wave moved here. I think 120 to 130 is doable, and those are my targets going forward. That's it for tonight, everyone. Have a good evening.